Hey, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia and today we're doing my July TBR. I'm actually standing in this video. Let me know how you feel about it. I could sit. In this video I'm going to show you guys my reading rush TBR as well as some of the books that I plan on reading generally throughout the month. If you haven't participated in the reading rush, it used to be the booktubeathon. This is going to be my third time participating. Yes, I'm excited to read 7 books in 7 days. You girls got nothing but time. Also, as I say in every video, please check out the link down below. Black Lives Matter is not just a fad, it's not just a trend. Please, it is forever and always. Please do your part. I'm going to be doing my TBR jar this month again. Here we have my TBR jar. I've bought more books since this. Not a book on my TBR. We'll never be able to see this, but it's The Wise and the Wicked. The Wise and the Wicked by Rebecca Poldos. Super shiny cover. This is an ARC I got from my school. This has already come out. Do I know anything about this? I know it deals with like witches, maternal relationships. I'm only picking one book out of my TBR jar this month because I actually picked out 3 books last month and I ended up reading 2 of them. So I'm just like, gonna slow it down. So I actually have 3 books that all go together. I'm gonna be doing a 24-hour reading vlog for this series, and that is Hunger Games. I read Hunger Games. I actually filmed me reading it for the first time, but I have not read the rest of the books. I have not read the other 2 books, and I really liked Hunger Games. I just never like was on the bandwagon when these little shits came out. I'm excited. I'm gonna read them all in 24 hours. Shouldn't be too hard, and I'm really excited to do that. And then I have all the books for my reading rush prompts. Again, I'm planning on reading 7 books for the reading rush. The first prompt is to read a book with the same color as your birthstone. For that, I'm going with The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody. This is like a very like rich royal blue color. It was kind of the closest thing I could find to like sapphire because I was born in September. This is a book centering around New Year's Eve, and it's a 24-hour span, I believe, and it's where 2 people accidentally switch phones. And one of them has a text on it that they have not read in a year, or they've had there for a year and they've never read it or opened it or something. But it's also apparently swoon-worthy. So next up is to read a book that starts with the word the. For that I'm going with The Iron Trial by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Magisterium series. I've had this on my TBR for a while. Oh, it's got some really cute stains on it. I want to check it out. I love middle grade and I love middle grade fantasy. And I haven't really heard too many things about this series, but I do love Cassandra Clare. So I'm excited to see what kind of shenanigans ensue from this. Next up is to read a book that is inspired by a movie you've already seen. That inspired a movie you've already seen. I don't know how to read. For that I'm going with Anne of Avonlea. This is by Ella Montgomery, obviously. Anne of Green Gables is my favorite book. Actually, when I was a kid, I used to watch the movies that were from the 80s. I might even rewatch them for this challenge. But yeah, I've only read the first book, and that's making me a fake fan, so I do need to read the rest of the series. I have this, and I have another copy of it. I'm not sure which copy I'm gonna read. I love Anne of Green Gables. I love this world. I love Anne. I've also watched the Netflix show, which I highly recommend you watch. Anne with an E is so good. So I'm finally gonna get around to this, hopefully. Next up is to read a book completely outside of your house. For that, I'm going with The Night Owls by Jen Bennett, alternately titled The Anatomical Shape of the Heart in the US. This is the UK version, which I think is so much nicer. Jen Bennett. We have her shrine here, my 2 favorite books from her. She doesn't disappoint. I've only read 1 book of hers that I didn't really like. I can't wait. This is like 2 people meeting on a night bus, which makes me think Harry Potter. In San Francisco. I love San Fran. And they do graffiti. I'm so excited. Like, this is to read the first book you touch. I literally spun myself around in circles. No one can like tell you, but I spun myself around in circles and then touched a book on my shelves, and I picked House of Salt and Sorrows. 12 Dancing Princesses dark retelling that I've been meaning to read for ages. I know. Fantasy has been not my cup of tea lately. I just haven't been reaching for it, but you know what? Hopefully this brings me on my little fantasy slump. Actually, I read a fantasy like 2 weeks ago and I really liked it. Next up is to read a book from a genre you would love to read more of, or you've always wanted to read more of. For that I'm going with magical realism. I really like magical realism or fabulism. And for that I'm going with The Looking Glass Self by Jeanette McNally. This, I believe, has to do with like traveling into books, which like sign me up. It also has to do with like familial relationships and things like that, but I know that it's kind of like going into stories or storybooks being more than meets the eye. So I'm so excited to read this. And then lastly is to read a book set in a different continent than yours. My golly, I had a hard time figuring this one out. I was like, fantasy I guess could count. It's a different world, so I'm like, does it really count? For that I'm going with My Lady Jane by the Lady Janies, Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jodi Meadows. I read My Plain Jane, which is a retelling of Jane Eyre. This is a historical fiction retelling of Queen Lady Jane Grey. What's her name? Lady Jane Grey. I can't read. I don't know anything about the story of Lady Jane Grey, but I just know that this bunch of people writes like really hilarious and fun stories. They're twins. Do I know what this is about? No. Do I know Lady Jane Grey? I probably should do a little bit of research, but I probably won't. So I'm excited to read this. Anyway guys, those are all the books that I plan on reading in July, as well as other ones because I think this is what, only 10. So let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these, if you're excited for any of these, if you have video suggestions for these, all this shaboo-boo. That's all for this video. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Check out the link down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!